Meeting. Yeah. Okay, sir.
Okay.
Started.
Okay. Fine. Okay. So yesterday, what have we discussed? Have you tried anything?
Actually, no, sir. Just gone through the video. That's
Mhm.
అంటే టోటలీ అంటే కొంచెం కన్ఫ్యూజింగ్ అన్నమాట. యాక్చువల్గా మనము డేటా డేటా ఎక్సెల్ ఫార్మాట్లో కదా సార్.
Mhm.
ఎక్సెల్ ఫార్మాట్లో ఉన్న డేటా అంటే మనకు ఆల్రెడీ అక్కడ ఉండాలనా అది
ఎక్కడ ఉండాలి?
మన దగ్గర స్టోరేజ్లో
అవును.
ఫైల్ ఉండాలి కదా సార్.
అవును.
ఓకే ఓకే
సో మనకు మన సిస్టంలో ఫైల్ ఉంటేనే మనం దాన్ని కనెక్ట్ చేసుకోగలం.
ఓకే అదే శాంపుల్ డేటా అంటే మనం ఎక్కడి నుంచి తీసుకోవాలి సార్ అది సోర్స్ నుంచి అంటే యాజ్ ఎ రియల్ టైమ్.
సో మనం యాజ్ ఎ రియల్ టైం చూడాలి అంటే నీకు విండో కనిపిస్తుందా?
కనిపిస్తుంది.
ఏది నోట్ ప్యాడ్?
మీది ఎక్సర్సైజ్ కనిపిస్తుంది.
ఎస్ఎస్ఎస్ కనిపిస్తుంది. నోట్ ప్యాడ్ కనిపించింది ఇందాక?
ఇందాక కనిపించింది.
ఓకే. ఈ స్క్రీన్ లోనే వస్తుంది. ఓకే.
ఓకే
సో ఇప్పుడు మ్యాటర్ ఏమంటే మనకు ఫైల్స్ అనేది క్లయింట్ దగ్గర నుంచి వస్తాయి. ఓకేనా? సో అవి ఒక షేడ్ ఫోల్డర్ లో ఉంటాయి. క్లయింట్ షేడ్ ఫోల్డర్ పంపిస్తాడు. ఓకేనా? సో మనం షేడ్ ఫోల్డర్ నుంచి మన సీక్వెల్ సర్వర్ కానీ ఎస్ఎస్ఐస్ ఇంటిగ్రేషన్ సర్వర్ కానీ సర్వీసెస్ కానీ ఒక సర్వర్ లో ఇన్స్టాల్ అయి ఉంటాయి. ఓకేనా? సర్వర్ ఈజ్ నథింగ్ బట్ జస్ట్ ఎ సిస్టమ్. అవి కూడా విండో సిస్టమ్సే. ఓకేనా? సో ఇప్పుడు నీకు సర్వర్స్ అంటే సో జస్ట్ మన ల్యాప్టాప్స్ మన లోకల్ యూసేజ్ కి ఓకేనా లిమిటెడ్ స్టోరేజ్ తో లిమిటెడ్ ప్రాసెసింగ్ కెపాసిటీతో సో మన ల్యాప్టాప్స్ ఉంటాయి. సో మనకు సర్వర్ అనేది ఏముంటుంది? సో ఇట్ ఈస్ ఎ బిగ్గర్ వర్షన్ ఆఫ్ అవర్ ల్యాప్టాప్ కి హయ్యర్ కెపాసిటీ ఉంటుంది, హయ్యర్ స్టోరేజ్ సిస్టమ్ ఉంటుంది. ఓకేనా? సో there will also be OS running on top of that OS. So we will be installing our SQL services and SSIS integration service and all those things. Okay. So into that particular server, we have to go from shared folder. We have to copy our files. Okay, na?
Okay.
Just a minute. Hello.
Yes, sir. Hello, sir. Hello. Hello.
Yeah. Isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah. సో ఫ్రమ్ షేడ్ ఫోల్డర్ నుంచి మనం లోకల్ మన సర్వర్ లో కాపీ చేసుకుంటాం. ఓకేనా? సో ఇప్పుడు మన ఎస్ఎస్ఐస్ కానీ ఎస్ఎస్ఐస్ లో ఏం చేస్తాం? ఈ మన సర్వర్ లో ఉన్న ఫోల్డర్ ఉంటుంది కదా, సో ఆ ఫోల్డర్ ని పాయింట్ చేస్తాం. ఓకేనా? ఇప్పుడు మనం
వన్ మోర్ సార్, ఇప్పుడు క్లయింట్ దగ్గర నుంచి మనం తీసుకోవాలంటే వాళ్ళు ఎట్లా ప్రొవైడ్ చేస్తారు సార్ మనకు?
హలో
హలో సార్. సార్
హలో
సార్ వినిపిస్తుందా సార్ నా వాయిస్?
ఇప్పుడు వినిపిస్తుంది. బ్రేక్ అవుతుందా?
ఇంటర్నెట్ కనెక్షన్ ఓకేనా సార్ ఇప్పుడు?
ఇప్పుడు ఓకే.
అది ఇప్పుడు క్లయింట్ దగ్గర నుంచి అంటే ఏదో వాళ్ళు అంటే వాళ్ళు డేటా మనం అక్కడి నుంచి వాళ్ళ దగ్గర నుంచి మనమే తీసుకోవాలనా? లో-
తీసుకోవాలంట.
ఆ, అదే అది షేర్డ్ ఫోల్డర్ అన్నారు సార్. అది
అవును.
వాళ్ళు ఎట్లా ప్రొవైడ్ చేశారు మనకు?
సో మనకు ఒక నెట్వర్క్ డ్రైవ్ అనేది ఒకటి ఉంటుంది. మనకి థర్డ్ పార్టీ యాప్స్ కానీ ఏదైనా ఉంటుంది.
ఆహా.
ఇప్పుడు ఫైల్ ట్రాన్స్ఫర్ ప్రోటోకాల్ కానీ, సో నెట్వర్క్ డ్రైవ్స్ అనేవి ఒకటి ఉంటాయి.
ఓకే.
సో వేర్ దే కెన్ ఆల్సో ద క్లయింట్స్ కెన్ ఆల్సో యాక్సెస్ దట్ ఫోల్డర్ అండ్ వీ కెన్ ఆల్సో యాక్సెస్ దట్ ఫోల్డర్.
ఓకే.
ఓకే. సో మనకు షేర్డ్ ఫోల్డర్స్ అనేవి ఉంటాయి.
ఓకే.
సో వాటిని యూస్ చేసుకుంటాం మనం. లేదంటే నీకు
ఆ,
థర్డ్ పార్టీ యాప్స్ ఉంటాయి. లైక్ ఎఫ్టిపి అని కొట్టామంటే ఎఫ్టిపి అని
ఆ,
కొట్టామంటే ఎఫ్టిపి సర్వర్స్ అని.
ఆ,
సో మనకు మార్కెట్లో చాలా టైప్స్ ఆఫ్ థర్డ్ పార్టీ ఎఫ్టిపి సర్వర్స్ అవైలబుల్ ఉన్నాయి. ఓకేనా.
ఆహా, ఆ.
సో ఎఫ్టిపి సర్వర్స్ అనేది ఏమంటే మనకి జస్ట్ లైక్ హౌ వి డిస్కస్డ్ షేర్డ్ ఫోల్డర్
అంటే జస్ట్ కనెక్ట్
ఫంక్షనాలిటీని
అవ్వడానికి.
ప్రొవైడ్ చేస్తాయి. సో వాళ్ళు కనెక్ట్ అవ్వచ్చు ఎఫ్టిపికి, మనము కనెక్ట్ అవ్వచ్చు.
ఓకే.
ఓకేనా.
ఓకే.
సో ఎఫ్టిపిని యూస్ చేసుకుని వాళ్ళు ఫోల్డర్స్ అనేది పుష్ చేస్తారు.
ఓకే.
ఓకేనా.
అలాగే అంటే కనెక్షన్ లాగా అనమాట.
కనెక్షన్ లాగా.
ఓకే. ఓకే.
సో ఎఫ్టిపిని యూస్ చేసుకుని వాళ్ళు ఫైల్స్ అనేది వాళ్ళ సైడ్ నుంచి పుష్ చేస్తారు నెట్వర్క్ డ్రైవ్లోకి,
మ్మ్.
షేర్డ్ ఫోల్డర్లోకి. సో మనం ఆ షేర్డ్ ఫోల్డర్లో నుంచి మనం ఫైల్స్ని తీసుకుంటాం. సో
ఓకే.
దానికి కూడా ఒక ఆటోమేటెడ్ వే ఉంటుంది. ఓకేనా.
మ్మ్. మ్మ్.
దానికి కూడా ఒక ప్రోగ్రామ్ రాస్తారు. సో ప్రోగ్రామ్ని డైలీ రన్ చేస్తారు. ఇటు షెడ్యూల్ చేస్తారు. నువ్వు సెవెన్కి ఆ ప్రోగ్రామ్ షెడ్యూల్ చేస్తారు. ఓకే.
ఓకే.
సో డైలీ 7కి మన ప్రోగ్రామ్లోనే ఆ షేర్డ్ ఫోల్డర్లో ఫైల్స్ ఉన్నాయా లేదా అని సెర్చ్ చేస్తుంది. ఒకవేళ ఫైల్స్ ఉంటే వాటిని మన లోకల్ సర్వర్ ఫోల్డర్లోకి మూవ్ చేస్తుంది
ఆటోమేటిక్ అదే.
ఆటోమేటిక్గా.
ఓకే.
సో మనం వాళ్ళు కూడా వాళ్ళకు స్పెసిఫైడ్ టైం ఉంటుంది. వాళ్ళు కూడా 6:30 లోపల వాళ్ళు ఫైల్స్ పెట్టేయాలి అని. సో
ఓకే.
వాళ్ళకు కూడా ఒక టైం లైన్ ఉంటుంది.
ఓకే.
సో వాళ్ళు డైలీ 6:30 లోపల ఫైల్స్ పెట్టేయాలి.
ఓకే.
సో దట్ ఈస్ దేర్ డ్యూటీ.
ఓకే.
సో 6:30 లోపల ఫైల్ పెట్టేస్తే 7కి మన ప్రోగ్రామ్ రన్ షేర్డ్ ఫోల్డర్ నుంచి మన ఫైల్స్ డౌన్లోడ్ చేసుకుంటుంది. సో లోకల్ సర్వర్ ఫోల్డర్లోకి.
మ్మ్. మ్మ్.
సో దెన్ మనం కూడా ఎస్ఎస్ఐఎస్ ప్యాకేజ్ ఒకటి డిజైన్ చేసి ఉంటాం.
మ్మ్.
లైక్ ఎస్టర్డే ఫ్రమ్ సోర్స్ టు డెస్టినేషన్
మ్మ్.
డిజైన్ చేశాం కదా.
ఆ,
సో ప్యాకేజ్ డిజైన్ చేసి ఆ ప్యాకేజ్ని కూడా షెడ్యూల్ చేస్తాం మనం.
ఓకే.
ఆ ప్యాకేజ్ని కూడా షెడ్యూల్ చేస్తే సో ఇప్పుడు ఆ ప్యాకేజ్ అనేది మన లోకల్ సర్వర్ ఫోల్డర్ కనెక్ట్ అయ్యి అక్కడ ఉన్న ఫైల్స్ని మన టేబుల్స్లో క్లోడ్ చేస్తుంది.
మ్మ్.
అంతే. ఇప్పుడు 7కి షేర్డ్ ఫోల్డర్ నుంచి మన సర్వర్లోకి వస్తాయి. మనం
మ్మ్.
7:30కో లేకపోతే 7:15కో మన
మ్మ్.
ప్యాకేజ్ షెడ్యూల్ చేస్తాం. 7:15కి ఆ ఫైల్స్ అనేది మన టేబుల్స్లోకి లోడ్ అయిపోతాయి.
ఓకే. ఓకే.
ఉమ్, అట్లాగా.
ఓకే.
క్లియర్.
ఓకే. ఇది యాక్చువల్గా అయితే నేనేమనుకున్నానంటే ఈ ప్యాకేజ్ మనం క్రియేట్ చేసాం కదా, ఇది మనం రన్ చేయాలి కదా యాక్చువల్గా అయితే.
అవును.
ఆ, అంటే షెడ్యూల్ అంటే ఆటోమేటిక్ అదే అయిపోతుంది.
షెడ్యూల్ మనం చేయాలి. ఆటోమేటిక్ అది ఎలా అవుతుంది.
ఆహా, ఓకే. ఓకే. ఈ టైం
మనం
అనేది
దానికి
సెట్ చేసేసి.
ఏ టైంకి రన్ అవ్వాలి అనేది మనం సెట్ చేయాలి. ఏ టైంకి ఏ రోజు
ఓకే.
రన్ అవ్వాలి, వాటి ఫ్రీక్వెన్సీ ఏంటి, డైలీ రన్
ఓకే.
అవ్వాలా,
ఓకే.
మంత్లీ
అంటే
రన్ అవ్వాలా,
డేటా
వీక్లీ
ఫ్లో.
రన్ అవ్వాలా,
ఆ, ఆ.
అది మనం సెట్ చేస్తాం. మన డేటా ఫ్లోని ఎప్పుడుందో మన డేటా ఫ్లోని బట్టి, మనకి కొత్త
మ్మ్.
డేటా ఎప్పుడు వస్తుందో దాన్ని బట్టి మనం షెడ్యూల్ చేసుకుంటాం.
ఓకే.
సో మనకు మొత్తం ఇన్ఫర్మేషన్ ఉంటుంది. మన క్లయింట్ నుంచి ఫైల్స్ ఎప్పుడు వస్తాయి, వాళ్ళు ఎప్పుడు పుష్ చేస్తారో, మనం ఎప్పుడు డౌన్లోడ్ చేసుకోవాలా, మనం ఎప్పుడు
మ్మ్.
షెడ్యూల్ చేయాలని మొత్తం ఇన్ఫర్మేషన్ ఉంటుంది.
అంటే ఇది ఒక ప్యాకేజ్ ఫస్ట్ ఫస్ట్ టైం మాత్రమే ఒకసారి క్రియేట్ చేసి అది పెట్టేస్తారు.
ఇప్పుడు నేను క్రియేట్ చేశాను కదా. సో
ఆ, ఆ.
ఈ క్రియేట్ చేసిన ప్యాకేజ్ని మనకు ఎస్క్యూఎల్ సర్వర్లో SQL సర్వర్ ఏజెంట్ అనేది ఉంటుంది ఒకటి. సో ఇట్ ఈస్
మ్మ్.
ఈ ఇందులో మనకి జాబ్స్ అంటే ఇక్కడ చూసామంటే జాబ్స్ అనే
ఆ.
ఉంటుంది ఒకటి. సో ఇక్కడ మనం జాబ్స్ క్రియేట్ చేస్తాం.
మ్మ్.
సో ఇక్కడ ఈ జాబ్స్లో ఆ ప్యాకేజ్ని స్పెసిఫై చేస్తాం.
మ్మ్.
సో ఈ జాబ్కి మనం షెడ్యూల్ ఇస్తాం. షెడ్యూల్ ఫ్రీక్వెన్సీ అని మొత్తం ఇస్తాం.
ఓకే. ఓకే.
సో దాన్ని బట్టి షెడ్యూల్కి ఆ ప్యాకేజ్ అనేది రన్ అవుతుంది.
ఓకే.
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 So yesterday we have seen how to load data from table to table also, right?
Yeah. OLEDP.
Okay, so right now, so we are in OLEDB. We have taken OLEDB source now. So yesterday what we have discussed is
OLEDP means it means SQL only.
it means a database source. A source could be a database.
Mhm.
It's not about table. Okay, it can be a database. In database, we can select tables. Okay, so here, so let me talk about this OLEDB source here. Hello.
Yes, sir. Hello.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Okay. So here, so yesterday we have taken like how to create the connection manager for using OLEDB connection manager,
Yeah.
right?
Yes.
See, whatever the connection managers you create, so will be appearing here. Okay. Yesterday for the first data flow, when we have created a connection manager for flat file,
Yeah.
so that is appeared here, right? So this is
Mm.
the connection manager for flat file. You can see the symbols. Okay.
Yes.
So it is a file and it is a connection manager. So it is the connection manager. You can see
Okay.
here, this is the database symbol, right?
Mm.
So
Yes.
that means we are connecting to it. So this connection manager belongs to a database. Okay.
Mm. Okay.
So if you see, by default, it has given us the name. It is the server name and the database name. Okay.
Okay.
TR70MY2 is the server
Server.
name and the practice is my database name. Okay. By
Mm.
default, it will give you a name for the OLEDB source. Okay.
Mm.
So what does this connection manager have? Okay. So this connection manager is connecting to this particular server, and in this particular server it is connecting to practice
Practice
database.
database.
Okay, and we are using Windows authentication here. So if you have any username and password, you can use
Yeah.
SQL Server authentication and provide the username and password. Okay, and you can just test the connection. Okay,
Mm.
right. So this connection manager, so right, so the same connection manager we can use to our what sources, OLEDB source or OLEDB destination. Okay, the same source, the same connection manager we can use for both of them, right?
Okay.
So here we are not doing anything, right? We are just connecting to the server. In that server, we are connecting to the database. That's it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we are not connecting to any particular tables, or we are not connecting to any particular views or anything, right?
Okay.
So we are just connecting to the database,
Mm.
but the
Same
data
connection we
transfer
are using
happens on
for.
tables.
Uh,
Yeah.
yeah.
So we are just transferring data from one table to another table here, not from one database to another database kind, right?
Okay. Yes.
So in the same database, we are trying to load data from one table to another table, right?
Mm. Yeah.
So we can use the same connection manager for both source and destination. Okay.
Mm.
So if you want to create the connection manager directly, you can just right click on this in this pane here in this empty space in the connection managers. Just right click here. You will be able to see different options. If you want to create new OLEDB connection or new flat file, new .NET, new analyst server, new file connection, you'll be able to see different things. Okay.
Okay.
Let's say if I want to create new OLEDB destination here. Okay. Just click on that. You will see, you will be going to the same OLEDB connection manager window again. You will see the list of already created connection managers for this project. Okay.
Okay.
You'll be able to see already. So these things I've already created. Okay.
Yeah. Yes.
So if you want to say, let's say if you want to use any of the ones, you can just click on that one and you click on OK. So this is the server name and production is the database name here. Okay. So all these things are database names: production, practice, development, report server. All these are database names. Okay. So for all these things, I have already created a
Connection.
connection. If I want, I can use them directly. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's say I want to use production. Just click on OK. So
Okay.
that production connection manager will be imported into your package. You will be able to use that.
Yes.
Okay. Or if you want to create a new LEDB connection, you can go to new, give the server name and the database name there. Okay.
Yeah.
You will be able to see all the database. You can select any of the things you want. Okay. And just click on OK. Right.
Yeah.
So that newly created connection will be appeared in the data connections list.
Yeah.
So from there you just select that, click on OK. Right.
Yeah.
So if you observe here,
Yeah.
hello.
Yes,
So
sir.
instead of giving the server name here, I have just given dot. Okay.
Yes, sir.
So dot means, so it will represent that just connect to the local server. Okay.
Okay.
That means you can just connect it to the local server. So whatever is installed on your system, whatever the SQL server that is installed on your local system that you're going. So right now you're creating your SSIS package in a system, right? In
Yeah.
the same system. So whatever the SQL server is available, so it will connect to that particular server. Okay. So
Okay.
right now I'm creating, I have my SSIS in this package in my laptop, right?
Yeah.
So and on the same laptop, I have my SQL server also, right? So if I give dot here, so it will directly connect to my local SQL server. Okay.
Okay.
So directly connect to my local server, whichever is available. Okay. That doesn't matter. It will directly connect to my local server and it will show me the databases available in that local server. Okay. Or I can give the name of that local server. So usually what I'm telling is, so if you in SSIS, you will be connecting to different servers. Okay. So let's say you have SSIS, you have SQL server on your laptop, right? Now, if you give me your laptop server name, I'll be able to connect from here. Okay.
Okay. By
So I'll
providing
be
the
able
server name,
server name.
we can connect
Yes.
to.
I will be able to connect to your SQL server in your system. So if I give the your server name here, and I'll be able to see your database names here.
Available
Okay.
databases.
In your system, in your SQL server. Okay.
Okay.
So usually that's what happens in real time. So we will not be, most of the times we will not be connecting to the
Local.
SQL server in our local systems. Okay. We will be connecting to the servers located somewhere else. Okay.
Okay.
So most of the times we will get, they will give you the server names and their usernames and passwords. Okay. So you will not be able to use Windows authentication then. So you will have to use SQL Server authentication there.
Okay.
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 So your server names could be like, they might be different. So if you see one of the sample things, so if you see here, so this is the recent one which I have tried to connect. Okay. If you see this whole thing is the server name.
Okay.
Okay. This whole thing is the server name. Okay.
Okay.
Or so even IP addresses can also be used as server names. Okay. They
Okay.
will give you some IP address and you can use them also as server names.
Server.
Okay. So, but they will be providing you the details of the servers and their usernames and passwords. Okay. So they will
Okay.
give you. Okay.
Okay.
And in SQL Server, you can using the SQL Server itself, you can connect to that particular server and go through the databases, whatever is available there, what are the tables, like how is the table structure and everything you can go through. Okay. So once you are good with the data, so you can try to create a package, you can try to load data into those tables in the other server. Okay.
By using SQL also we can do that job now, sir.
Which job?
Extracting data.
See here, so we have some comments, right? So I've told you, select a star into
Yeah.
from, right?
Yeah.
So what you're doing here in the same server from one database to another database. or from one table to another table.
Yeah.
So you can load data. If you want to connect to another server and load data into another server, okay?
Yeah.
So we can go by SSIS. Or if you want to go by SQL Server queries, so we have a concept called linked server. Okay.
Server. Okay.
Yes. So we can create a linked server on our local system, okay, and other server should give us the access to be a linked server in our thing, okay?
Which too complicated, I think.
Yes.
And the both are SQL servers we are running in our same, na? So
No, we are not running both SQL servers in our local. So
no, no,
one
I mean
SQL server.
they provide as a link, na? So their
No, it is
database.
not link.
Uh,
It is a linked server. Okay.
okay, okay.
Just like how we have a name for our server. Okay.
Uh,
So we will be creating another name for the server. Okay.
okay.
For we have the server detail, right? We have the server name of that another
Mm-hmm.
SQL server.
Yeah.
On top of that name, so we will be creating something called linked server. So that
Okay.
will also be a name like, okay, that will
Okay.
also look
Okay.
like a name. Okay.
Okay.
So, so what is the full path of the, if you want to give the full path of a table, how will you give? You have to give the server name,
Yeah. Schema
right?
name and
Server name. So let's say, okay. So you have to give the server name first, server name
yeah.
dot
DB name,
database
database,
name
and schema
dot schema
and
and
table
table. So this is the full
format.
name, full path.
Yeah.
Okay. So usually this server name we will not be using. Okay.
Mm.
So whenever we are working in the same database in SQL Server while writing queries.
Mm.
So whenever we are working in the same server but with different databases, we use this naming convention. Okay, we will use database name, schema name, and the table name. Okay, so whenever you're trying to connect to another servers, okay,
Mm.
whenever you're trying to connect to another servers, then we will be using this
Server
server
name.
name concept. So here
Mm.
server name means the linked server name.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
this is not the actual server name which they have given to you.
Mm.
They would have given you the actual server name, right? So
Mm.
that thing we cannot use here. So we should use a linked server name here, which we have created additionally. Okay.
Mhm.
So when you are trying to connect to another servers, you should use this server name.
Mm.
When you are trying to connect to different databases in the same server, so this naming convention would do. Okay.
Mm.
Yeah. So by using this server linked server, we can write the insert commands. Okay.
Yeah.
We can write the insert commands in the SQL query,
You can
and
copy.
we can copy the data, or we can do whatever we want. Okay.
Mhm. Oh.
But the catch here is, so you will write the queries, but so how will you execute them daily on a particular time?
Okay. So we can schedule here. No?
You will not be able to schedule this, right?
Yeah.
So
So it
for the
means I will
scheduling
need
this query
to.
also, see, we will be able to schedule this query.
Uh-huh.
So using SQL job, so not only packages, we can schedule queries also. Okay.
Okay.
But the one more catch here is, so that will be very slow. That process will be very slow.
Okay.
So here the linked server performance will not be up to the mark. That will be very slow. Okay.
Yeah.
So if you are trying to do any joins or something, okay. So for everything, for every row, for every scan, it has to go through the
So that.
securities, okay, and it has to go to the other server which is in other location. It has to get you the data,
Mm.
right?
Yeah.
So that this process will be
Time
slow here. The
consuming.
performance will be affected here. But
Mm.
through SSIS, okay, so that will not be the case. Even if you're trying to connect to another servers, say it will be much fast when compared to the linked server concept.
Okay.
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 So that's why we prefer SSIS packages there.
Okay.
Clear?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. So here, so the concept, the thing we are trying to do is, so we are trying to create a package to load data from one table to another table in the same server in the same database. Okay.
Yes, sir.
So let's connect to our source table. Okay. So here if you see whatever the connection managers that are available in your package,
Mm.
whatever the OLEDB connections that are available in your package, you can see the list here. Okay.
Yeah.
You can select anyone you want. Okay. I'm
Okay.
going with practice connection manager and my source table is EMP table here. Okay.
Mm.
Just you have to click on columns. If you go to columns, you'll be able to see the columns here.
Column names.
Yeah. So you can see the tick marks right before every columns, right?
Mm.
So so that means all these columns are going as output of this source column. Okay.
Mhm.
So
Okay.
these columns are the outputs of the source column. Okay. So if you don't want to send a salary and commission as output column,
Uh-huh.
you can
Oh, we can
just
uncheck that too.
uncheck them. Yeah.
Okay.
They will not go through the source. They will not go out of source. Okay.
Okay.
So by default, everything will be checked in. Okay.
Yeah.
If you don't want to send them, you can just uncheck those columns in the source editor.
Okay.
Okay. Just click on OK. Now, if you see here, there are some things, data access mode. Okay.
Mm.
So usually it is in table. The default data access mode is tabular view. So in this thing, so you will be able to see. So if you have any tables or views created, you can select any views. Okay.
Okay.
So you'll be able to directly select the tables or views, anything. Okay.
Okay.
So you'll be able to see the columns here. Okay.
Yeah.
And here in the table name or view name variable. So what happens is, so we have a concept of variables in the
Mm.
SSIS packages. Okay.
Okay.
So here we will create a variable and we will give a variable name here. Okay. And give the data pasting, and here in the value we will be mentioning the table name. Okay.
Okay.
Clear? So and this variable we will be using here.
User variable. Okay.
So see, you are able to see the columns. So here I haven't taken the table name here, right? Directly.
Mm.
I have used a variable. So I've created a variable and just right click here and select variables. Okay.
Okay.
So this is the this first option is create variable, move variable or delete variable. So just click on variable and you can give the any name and give the data type of that value which you're
Variable.
going to. So I'm going to give table name, right? Name means I'll select string here and you
Oh,
can give any table name here. Okay.
it means the variable contains the
The
table.
variable contains the table name.
Table.
Yeah. This variable loads the table name. So we have the concept of variables in SQL Server also, right? We will declare the variables and we will set the values for the variable, right?
Yeah.
The same concept. We are creating a variable here and we are setting a value for that variable.
Mm-hmm.
So wherever we
The
select this
value
variable,
we are
the value will be
giving,
shown. Yeah,
uh,
tell me.
sir, here in value column we are
Mm.
giving a table name, na?
Yes,
Then it contains a whole table details, sir.
it does not contain the whole table details. It just holds the table name.
Okay. Okay.
It will just hold the table name. See here. So whenever we are selecting the name of the table here, so are we selecting the whole content of the table? No, right? We are just
Oh,
selecting the table name.
yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
We are just selecting the table name there.
Mm.
SSIS in the backend will connect to the table and get the data,
Mm.
right? So
Okay.
here in this thing, in the connection in the source editor, what we have to give is we just have to give it the table name. That's it.
Mm.
we are not giving it the whole data. I mean, in the back end, so it
Yeah.
is just like giving the data only. But in the front end, in the UI, what you were giving, we are just providing the table name. Okay.
Yeah.
So
Whenever
here
we use this variable, then it will
it will
get the
automatically connect to the table itself.
yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Mm.
So here we just have to give the table name. We just have to provide the table name.
Okay.
So I'm showing you the different ways of providing the table names or view names. Okay.
Okay.
So the first type is directly selecting the table name. Okay.
Mm.
I can directly select the table name. The second way is using a variable. Okay.
Mm.
So if I am connecting to variable, if I am connecting to the variable here, variable name also variable, right? So let's
Yeah.
change.
Yeah.
See, let's see, I'm selecting the table name or view name, that is access mode. So now I have to select evar, the variable evar. Okay.
Mm.
So if I connect to evar variable, so it will connect to employee
Right.
table in
Employee
the
table.
back end. Okay.
Mm.
And it will show the columns from employee table.
Mm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now it is showing us the columns from employee table. Okay.
Here, instead of using our table direct table name, we are using a
Using a
variable.
variable. Yeah.
By using variable.
Yeah. So one more thing is SQL command. Okay.
Okay.
So whatever the command you write in SQL, so if you want to get the data from that EMP table, what will you write?
Select to
Select
star
star
from
from EMP, right?
Yeah.
The same thing I will write here.
Okay.
The same thing I'll write here. So since I have selecting star, I will get all the columns
All the
list,
columns.
right? Just click on columns, you will be able to see all the columns again. Okay.
Okay. We can add filter also then.
Yeah, we can filter also. Why we cannot filter? We can select ename, EMP ID. EMP ID is the column, ename and EMP number.
Mm. Okay.
So here I'm selecting only 2 columns. So if you go to columns, you will see only 2 columns there.
Okay.
So whatever is coming out of these tables, this place in the data access mode, so only those columns will appear
Only,
here.
yeah.
So when we try to select the EVAR, here we are selecting the EVAR, right?
Yeah.
So that means we are directly giving the table name.
Mm.
So whatever the columns are available in the table, everything will come. Here you can filter. So if you don't want any columns.
Mm.
But when you go with the SQL command, you have the option to write a query with the selected column names.
Okay.
So here also you can do select star. Select star means you will get all the column names. And
Yeah.
here also you can filter. Okay.
Okay.
But you have in SQL command, you have the option of directly giving the column names.
Mm. Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So the other one is SQL command from variable. Okay.
Mm.
So let's say in an employee, so I'm taking another variable. Okay.
Okay.
So I'm giving the name. So I'm taking the red tab string. Okay. So here in the value, I will give my query. Okay.
Mm.
Instead of table name, I'm giving the query here.
Okay.
I'm creating a new variable and I'm giving the value as my query as my value. Okay. So I'll go to the source editor, select SQL command from variable. Okay.
Okay.
Just I'll select the variable which I want, the variable which is holding the query. Okay.
Okay.
So this is our query. So if you see the variable value, automatically we have got
Mm.
it, right?
Okay.
Just go to columns, you will be able to see all the columns. If you change here, okay, if you change here, the columns also it will change.
Mm. Okay.
So based on our requirement, you can use any mode.
Okay.
But we have different options of
Mm.
choosing the data.
Okay.
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 Clear?
Clear.
Okay. So this is about data access mode. You can preview the data here. These are the column names. Okay.
Yeah.
Just click on OK. Now drag the destination. Connect it here. So if you see when I select a source here,
Yeah.
so you see two arrow marks here. One is blue and one is error. I mean,
Yeah.
one is red. Okay.
Yes.
So through the blue arrow, so whenever you connect a blue arrow to a destination, so what happens is all the genuine records, all the correct records will flow through the blue arrow. Okay.
Okay.
All the error records, okay, which are having error will pass through
A
the
red mark.
red mark. Okay. We will discuss about the red mark also. Okay. So usually we will connect if you want to go to next step with the genuine records. So we will be connecting the blue arrow mark here. Okay. So only after connecting a source to a destination, then only you will be able to configure the destination. Okay.
Okay.
If the destination doesn't have a connection with the source, you will see this component has no input columns.
Okay.
That doesn't matter. Okay. So
Okay.
even though you can edit, but it is the best practice. Okay. So if you see here, you'll not be able to see any mappings here. Okay. You'll be able to select data. You'll not be able to select any tables or anything. Okay. But you won't be able to map things. Okay. See, the input thing is everything is ignore. There are no input columns at all. Right.
Okay.
So that's why before configuring the destination, you should connect this thing with source.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, so if you select a table here, you can select a table. Selecting EMP new. Now, if you go to mappings, you will be able to see the mappings here. Okay.
Yes.
Clear?
Clear.
So here also we have different things, but don't worry about them. So we will discuss. Okay. So usually that will be set to fast load. Okay.
Okay.
So fast load mean so the data will be loaded in bulks. Okay. Like let's say a batch of 10,000 will be loaded one time. Second time the batch of 10,000,
Yeah.
again a batch of 10,000 will be loaded. So the data will be loaded in batches here. Okay. Instead of
Okay.
loading record by record, the batches
It will
like the
load.
data will be loaded in batches.
Okay.
Okay.
At a time it will load.
At a time a batch will be loaded.
Okay.
Okay. So that won't take much time. So here also, if you see, you can specify how many rows you want to load per batch. Okay. Per batch, how many records you want to load. That option you can specify if you want to load 100 records, 1,000, 10,000, that you can specify. Okay.
Okay.
So, and again in the destination editor, we have different options. You see here, keep identity, keep nulls, table lock, check constraint. Okay. So let's discuss about table lock. So what does this table lock mean? So while loading, so whenever this package is running, okay. So whenever this package is running, the table will be locked. That means this will not be available for
Any
other
other
processes. This table will not be available for other packages, or if in SQL Server, whenever you're trying to query something on this table, okay, the result might take much longer than usual. Okay. So usually, let's say if you get the data in 10 seconds, you might get the data in 30 seconds, or the query will just keep on running.
Okay.
It will not show you the data. It will just keep on running.
Okay.
So that's the table lock. Check constraint, we have different types of constraints, right?
Okay. Yes.
So it will check whether our destination table is having any such constraints, and the incoming data is getting validated through the constraints or not. Okay.
Okay.
Whether the incoming data fits the constraints or not. Let's say we have a default constraints on one table, I mean one
Okay.
column.
Yeah.
So it will check for that. For that
Mhm.
column, so are we getting the default value or are we getting another value?
Okay.
So it will check for that. Okay. And we have things called keep identity and keep null. Okay.
Okay.
So what is identity here?
If a column contains a identity property, then it will allow or
I'm asking what is identity property?
uh, automatically it will increment by the value.
Yes. So it will auto generate a sequence of numbers. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So it will check for those identity and it will check whether the incoming data has any null columns or not. Okay.
Mhm.
So if you want to keep the nulls, if the nulls are incoming, you can just keep the nulls. Okay.
Mhm. Okay.
So that is about destination editor here. Just click on OK. So we have done the mappings, right? Just click on OK. So now our package is ready here. Okay. So there are two options. Since we have only one task here, okay,
Okay.
you can right click and click on execute task, or you can just right click on the package name and click on execute package. Okay. So what
Mhm.
happens is, so let's say we have multiple tasks here. Okay.
Okay.
Let's say we have multiple tasks here. So
Mhm.
if you just want to execute the data flow task alone, you can just directly right click on the task and click on execute task. But if you click on the package, execute package, the whole package will be executed one after the other. Okay,
Uh-huh.
Since we have connected here, so once the data flow task is finished, it will move to execute task one task and move on to execute task one again. Okay,
Mhm.
all the tasks will be executed.
Okay.
So, but if you want to execute one particular task, you can just right click on the task and click on execute task.
Mhm.
Okay.
If we want any task execute in a required pattern, I think. I mean, first this task should be executed, or can we do that?
So that's what I have shown you, right?
Okay.
So I've connected this task to another task. What does that mean?
Okay.
So this task will execute only after this task. This execute SQL
Okay.
will execute only after data flow. And
Mhm.
this execute SQL task one will execute after execute SQL task.
Okay.
Okay. So this
Okay.
is the pattern. So whenever you click on execute package here,
Mm.
so the execution starts from the first task.
Okay.
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 So only after the first task, the following tasks will be executed. So I have
Mm.
set a pattern like how
Mm.
they should execute.
Mm.
Let's say if I want execute SQL task one to be executed after data flow task, I can connect this one. I can erase this thing. Okay,
Mhm.
can
Okay.
delete. Okay,
Mhm.
now execute SQL task one will execute first, and after that the SQL task.
Okay. Got it.
So this is how we can maintain the flow of
Okay.
different tasks. Okay.
Mm.
So anyways, we have discussed about the variables here, right?
Yeah.
So let's talk about variables also. Here, yeah, let's say I want to load from employee table, I want to load data from only the employees who are working as clerk here.
Okay.
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 Any doubts?
No.
Okay. I want to load the employee details who are working as clerk into employee new table. Okay.
Okay.
So how can I filter that? So
by
using a
using
SQL
query.
query.
Sure.
What is the query to filter the data?
We can add a filter where
Yeah, tell me the whole query.
job is equal to clerk.
Okay. Where job equals to
Equals to clerk.
clerk, right?
Yeah.
This is how I can use, right?
Yeah.
So now I will get only the employees who are
Only,
regarding whose
clerk.
job is clerk. So the same thing I can implement by using variables. Okay, so here, so whenever you want to change the job here, let's say the next time you want to load only salesman.
Okay.
Again, you have to come to the SQL editor. I mean this package, and you have to open all those things. Let's say since you have only one task, it is easy. Okay.
Okay.
But let's say you have some number of tasks. Let's say you have some 10 to 15 tasks here. You
Mhm.
don't know in which data flow task it is available and uh, in which query you have
Which,
predict. Okay.
uh,
So in that case, if you have a variable created for that, so
mm,
that will be easy for you to change the job there, to change the
mm,
value for the job. Okay.
okay.
So for that also we can use variables here. So let's say
Mhm.
let's create a variable for that. I'm creating variable. I'm creating another variable job. Okay.
Yeah.
So the value for the job we are going to give is in string format, right?
Okay.
String. And the value is clerk,
Yeah.
right?
Mm,
So here I have created a package. I
mm,
mean the variable.
variable.
So variable is ready. So now I have to use this variable in my query.
Mm,
Okay. Let's see how we can use that. So for that I should be in SQL command access mode. Okay.
mm,
If I select just a table, we will not be able to use that variable. So I
okay.
should be in SQL command access mode. Okay. So select start from event where job. So usually we'll write where job equals to clerk, right?
Yeah.
So here instead of giving as just directly hard coding as clerk, we will just give a question mark here. Okay. So
Mm,
the question mark here in SSIS means it requires a parameter or variable. Okay.
mhm,
So wherever you see a question mark in any query in SSIS, that means this question mark should be associated with a variable.
mm,
So let's go to parameters here. So
okay.
do you see a parameter here? Already you can change the name of the parameter and you can see.
Variables.
So you can see different variables here. Oh, it
Yeah.
says all system, right? That
Yeah.
means these are all the defaultly available variables in the system. Okay. So wherever you see user, okay, that means these
These
variables
are
are
user
created by
defined.
the user. Yeah, user
Mm,
defined variables. Okay.
yeah. Okay.
So this is the variable job I've created, right?
Mm,
Let's select that. Okay. And click on OK. Just go to columns and click on OK. Let's try running this. If it works or not. Let's see. It has loaded
yeah.
5 rows there. Okay.
Mm, okay.
So it's loaded all the clerks one. Now let's
Mm,
say if you want to load the salesman details, then just change the value here. Salesman. Okay.
okay.
Save it. Now it has loaded the salesman details also.
Okay. if we don't want null values in the table, then in the destination we can put the checkbox in checkbox tick. We can create
Yeah, you can
that.
try those things.
Okay.
Try. Some things you should better try for better understanding.
Okay.
Yeah. So now if I want here, I want to use another variable here. So I want in the clerk job whose salary is greater than 1,000. Only those things I want to load here. So how I can use another variable here and sal greater than question mark I will be. Okay.
Okay.
Click on OK. Create an if you see we haven't given an input variable for the question mark, right?
Yeah.
That's why it is showing an error here. Okay.
Oh, okay, okay.
Let's create a variable for that. Another variable salary. So and where the value for the salary will be in integers, right?
Integer.
So that's why I'm considering int 32 data type. So my value is 1,000. Now I have to map this question mark with that salary variable. Okay. So doing the mapping, so go to parameters. We have got another variable parameter one created. See how many question marks we have. So those many parameters you will be able to see here.
Okay.
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 So now select salary, okay, salary, and the parameter direction is input only. This is an input parameter. Okay.
Okay.
Just click on OK. Select columns. Now see, this is gone.
Yeah.
The error is gone here. Now you can execute the task.
Okay.
Change the what? We didn't change the job, right? In the variable, the job is still salesman. Okay. So if you give clerk, so it will load the data of employees who's working as clerk.
Their salary
is
must be
greater
greater
than
than 1,000.
Okay.
Okay.
That is how we can use variables. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So in next class we will talk about execute SQL task. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Fine. Bye.
Okay, sir. Thank you.